Hi, my friends. It's me, Trey. And today I want to talk to you about a really painful experience I've had throughout life, and that is minimization of illness. And so this video is called Minimization versus Eradication. Well, my experience in my life, existence here with cancer, Mr. SA, herpes, abscess in my mouth, and now a probable blood clot spike in my heart because I had the deadly weaponized flu. A month later, I felt like I was getting punched. Yeah, it's going away. I've been taking this quercetin and nattokinase here, so it's helping to make it go away. But the fear I have is that it will just minimize. Well, I'd have been a master shaman or herbal healer, self-healer by now. I'd be making money healing others with the massive self-confidence I had. If I had only actually eradicated all these handful of deadly diseases I've minimized my whole life. In the event of the creation of Big Pharma, of course, they called all natural healers quacks and went on a witch hunt after guys like me everywhere. Get rid of the competition and get rid of the knowledge that the divine Mother Earth actually gave us. All the tools we need to heal. And even if plants such as ganja came from other planetary systems. For example, if you get poison oak, if you use jewel weed, can remove the spike of the poison. So jewel weed usually grows near poison oak. So the healing of the nation is usually available in nature. So in modern chemotherapy, they usually tell you, on the other hand, you have 6 months to live if you don't do as we say. And of course, they usually never say anything about changing your diet or your thought patterns or your beliefs in life. Simply, if you take our poisonous chemotherapy medication or radiation and let us do surgery in 6 months, you might live, or all those things might kill you, usually. Of course, the big farm doesn't want to know to play with the real magic bullet we have discovered. Cannabis and even just simply the legal CBD here could get rid of 96% of illnesses temporarily. To the big farm, the cannabis or even the CBD magic bullet does not exist. Because cannabis is dangerous because it encourages people to think outside of the control system of the box. Is that what it is? Is that why the devil won't touch it? Okay, so we will use, since cannabis doesn't exist, we will use our Uzi machine gun spraying toxic chemicals, basically chemotherapy weapons, basically to pressure wash out your cancer with poisons and radiation, which might kill you in 6 months also, by the way. Whereas using the free, after being begged for 3 years, using the free tools I had and the USSA socialist security system to fund my self-healing exploration, almost completely healed all of my diseases, which was my goal in this research and self-healing project. My stated intent, even with all of the psychological targeting my whole life, especially after I did that, and isolation, and not only you are a physical, mental disease for life program, like you are a psychotic or a schizophrenic or a cancer or MRSA or whatever it was that they think I am for life program. I was like, oh yeah, then I'll be the. I was like, I told them, I believe the body can heal itself. I've never given my body a chance. So I was like, oh yeah, basically, signing, after being begged for roughly 7 or like 9 years after that interview, I'll be the first openly government funded self-healing student shaman discussing the end. In the last video I made discussing the concept of the end and the means and their connection, the previous episode, basically this strengthens the umbilical cord to the mommy daddy government, to ruin the financial sovereignty, obviously, and codependence with my mother financially. My brother here, this house is, this, my mother purchased this, helped co-sign with my brother for this house. And also, codependency with plant medicines or raw milk. Thus, many times on my mission, I have on countless occasions, I have minimized, the handful of deadly illnesses that if I had not quit eating sugar and quit consuming alcohol and quit eating poisons and quit eating GMO foods, I would have died from any one of those 5 or 6 different deadly illnesses, which I have minimized. All of them, sadly, lonely to masochistically or subconsciously, inadvertently refueled by any or all of them, as the dark always hide, the devil's always literally in the details. So, in other words, because I wasn't able to make my physical thoughts and diet, especially without a hierogamic woman partner, to make the thoughts and the diet 100% pure, I haven't 100% gotten rid of all my cancers, for example. Whereas, as I've said before to people online on my transmissions and 3D reality, I could tell you CBD can get rid of it, but it would be illegal, or I'd be fined, or get in trouble, or get a week off, kicked off if I told you exactly how. So another example of this in another sphere, as far as my communication, my broadcast to you, the realm of Wi-Fi, we have the CIA and Google's open minimization of these transmissions through the shadow band that's on this channel, so that I went to the public server at the library anonymously with the guest pass, looked at my latest video, it said 0 views. I clicked on it, it said 9 views. You go on Dr. Drew's show or any other place that's publicly, where people put the truth on the chat or the comments, even if they leave the chat up, which, by the way, thanks for not knocking it down this time, guys. Maybe I learned how to self-censor enough for you. They always put 0 comments and there's no chat, or they hide the chat unless you want to look at it if it's not deleted. So, they do their best to minimize the truth, okay? Because YouTube doesn't want to be held responsible as compliant with the Nazi dictators, even though they are. And this is why under the Dr. Drew or the Jordan Peterson or other popular millions of people watching, or hundreds of thousands of people watching, they will put context, CDC context, So Dr. Drew never gets any comments or chats, so don't even look. That's what the dark side want you to think. Though. Thanks for leaving him. The soul. For finally, I didn't. Finally, perhaps maybe this is my ego talking, but perhaps finally I didn't spoil it by saying too many truths. The soul of the divine Christ goddess is truly shining within us all, clear to see for those with the eyes of Christ awareness. As the scripture said, one of the disciples asked the master, "When will we see the kingdom of heaven?" when we die, when we're fully born again, or when we're fully enlightened. And Yeshua, the Master, Yeshua said, it surrounds the kingdom of, I would say the queendom of heaven surrounds you now. If you only have eyes to see it. The soul of the divine Christ Goddess truly shines within us all, clear to see for those with the eyes of the Christ awareness. Yet, the Decepticons marvel and have mastered the art of mind-controlling spirits in flesh suits that believe they are 3D. One little soul fragment, their ego, one lifetime, this one. Thus, most have become cut off, become split, fragmented from the Christ within, fragmented from their faith in the Goddess, the true Christ. For the disciplined minimization of sickness, for someone like me, may feel at times easy and simple, yet in an exterior environment where true healing and wholeness has been purposefully for a century hidden by the invisible hand of the dark sides manipulating the marketplace. The eradication of all illness, tragically, without direct harm to human bodies and souls, remains reserved for the few master healers that we still have left that haven't been taken down. There was a guy that I read, I don't know if it was an autobiography, but his name was Jimmy McKimmey, and his story reminded me a lot of Bruno Graining. If you want to hear an amazing story about someone who used the power of the true Christ to heal, look up Bruno, the same last name as the guy in The Simpsons, Graining, Groening. This guy, Jimmy McKimmey, was actually a chiropractor a few miles down the road from where I spent nearly 20 years in Santa Cruz, California, in Half Moon Bay. He had an office. And I found this book in a little free library. I'm sure I cried a few tears, but he, unlike Bruno, who had a tragic had to go at age 57 because they were the Nazis and the German government and Big Farm in Germany weren't going to allow him to continue his medicine. Jimmy McKimmey was certainly touched with the gift of the touch of the Christ, and to some amazing degree, he was born again in the awareness of the true Christ. I challenge anyone out there who watches this to research this guy, because it's very hard to find anything about him. His memory was almost erased beside this book, so I was so glad to read it. And so what he would do is, after he got his chiropractor's license, he would do chiropractic adjustments on people, but he would actually do Reiki type healing, like Reiki, with so much faith in the Christ, the real Christ, that people would say they felt warmth coming through his hands. The energy coming through his hands would actually make their cancers go away and just destroy cancers like instantaneously. Somehow miraculously, he never got busted, and he lived to be in his late 78. He retired the last 10 years of his life to Montana. But that story amazed me. He secretly made all these people's cancer and other illness disappear with the power of the Christ moving through his hands. And he never got busted by the demons. So if you enjoyed this, click subscribe, like for more, follow me on Odyssey. let's try to make this a more beautiful and truly light-filled world, my family. Love you. Create a great one.